Prepping for a very long travel. Let's discuss. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Coffee Rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. Tonight we are drinking Dunkin'. You have to hit pause on this video to get your coffee or whatever beverage you deem necessary. Go ahead and do that now, as this will be a lengthy discussion, guys. So tonight we're going to be talking about some of how we are prepping for our Florida journey to travel from Ohio to Florida. What we do, how do we prepare for such a journey? A 14-hour drive, which, you know, we don't really drive the whole way anymore, especially this time when, as we get older, it's like it's harder and harder to do. We used to do it all the time. We used to drive straight through. I would drive straight through the night. We've done it through the day before. It really kind of depends on what kind of traffic you run into. Most people who have ever driven through Atlanta know that can really put a damper on things sometimes. But we're going to talk a little bit about how we prepare for such a journey, and with us being gone for quite a while, the things that we take and why being a preparedness-minded person, the kind of things that we take with us to ensure that we have everything that we need. So we're going to go into some different items that we take along with us. First of all, some of the normal things to always keep in your car, I would say: blanket, sheet, something to, in case you break down. It's not going to be that cold. It's not going to be cold at all. As a matter of fact, everywhere south of here is going to be pretty warm, but it's always good to have. Always good to have. Another thing that I always make sure that I take are my tools, my little bit of car tools I keep in the car just in case anything happens. Quick things. Obviously, I can't, work on something major as to where I wouldn't have the tools for that. However, if you run into something with, a hose or a battery or just any little thing that comes along the way, you want to make sure you got your spare tire, these kind of things. Knock on wood, none of this stuff happens. But I mean, it's always good to be prepared for these things, as I always try to be prepared for everything, any scenario, especially when you're going to be so far away from home. Now me, I'll be honest with you, I like flying. I do. Jessica likes the drive, though, so we're going to drive this time, and we are going to be gone for a while, so it'll be nice to be able to have our car. And I've been hearing a lot of problems with rental cars lately, not only actually being able to get them, but just different issues with rental cars in general. A lot of rental cars have had issues, and they cost a fortune. That's a big one. You save a lot of money when you drive. I mean, you do have to factor in the extra hotel night that we may stay on the way down. I don't know. It really depends on how I feel. I mean, I feel like I could literally do the 14-hour drive. We are excited, and that helps. Obviously, coming home, there's no way we always pull over like somewhere in Tennessee. We are going to be doing videos on all of this stuff for you guys, so make sure you are tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Be part of the adventure. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to, it's going to be really exciting. Now, let me go into some of the other things that we do. Is we make sure, depending on how long we stay, I won't give the exact number, but I'm bringing basically 10 pair of clothes. And we don't want to bring much more than that, because there's a lot more things that we, need to make sure that we have packed, like medicines, different allergy medicines, things like this. And we basically fill up the car. I mean, we bring a lot of stuff. We really do. But anything that you can take. Now, obviously, that's another thing, too. It's nice having your car, because we can literally drive to a store. We are going to be literally like near Walmarts and all kinds of other stores. So it's not too big of a deal, but it's like we buy in bulk for a reason, so that we don't have to do these kind of things. So we have like our little things. I have this thing right here, which is like a little to-go pack, of different Band-Aids, and keep medicines and stuff like that in there. Things that we are, always keeping in there for travel or whatever. But these are things that I think someone who prepares a little bit for the future may think about. Because when you're going to be gone for a while, especially when you're going to be gone from your home, you want to make sure that you have everything that you are going to use or take on an everyday basis. lots of other little things. We're kind of all figuring this out right now. You know, it's like, I know we got a little while, some days left here before we leave, but we need to start planning now. We need to start preparing for this now, because there are a lot of things, like I said, that we do take, and it's like we want to make sure that we have everything broken down. Me and Jessica, when it comes to travel, we are very organized. We make sure that everything is in its correct place. That way, if we have to go for it, we are able to get to it right away. Let's have a little drink of this delicious Dunkin' coffee. Oh yeah, it's good. But, you know, we also know that we're going to Florida. Now, we've been traveling to Florida for a long time. What happens this time of year? Knock on wood, it doesn't happen. Hurricanes. Need to make sure that we are well prepared. We always make sure that we bring a couple cases of water. We make sure that we have a plan. We have a plan, you know, in case something happens where we have to get going, we have to move. Or something like that. You want to make sure that you're always, you know, it's like, if now where we're staying down in Central Florida, these buildings are built to withstand Category 5 hurricanes. That's good to know, but we also have the travel down there and the travel home, and it's always good to know like a little escape route or somewhere you can go if something does happen, and things do happen, so we want to make sure we are prepared for that. There were a few of you actually out there that have wanted me to do a video kind of like this where we talk about how we prepare for our trip down to Florida. So seemed like the right time to do that since we are starting the packing process. I also have a lot of camera gear that I take with me, you know, for any kind of situation. I always want to make sure too that when I do pack my camera gear, especially since we may be bouncing from place to place, it is something that I have to take out of the car. I can't leave this stuff in the car. For one, it is a little pricey. For two, it gets really hot and I don't want my camera to melt in the car. So that would not be good. And cameras and heat do not go well together. But it's all the little things that you kind of have to think about. And it's, you know, we just, things like snacks and stuff like that, you know, we obviously have that. We actually have a huge cooler that we bring. We don't use it much. I mean, we do, like, on the way down and on the way back, but once we're down there, we don't use it too much. We'll keep it in the room, you know, with some drinks cold and stuff like that. But it's a big cooler, and the biggest reason why I take it is just in case something happens. Something happens, and we got our ice, we got waters. You know, it's very hot down there. Something ever happens, you know, we know we're going to have cold water. And, you know, these are the things that we always think about. We need to make sure that we're prepared for the theme parks. We need to make sure that we are ready for the theme parks. We have, like, different bags, our different bags that we use for waters. I know I've talked about this before, but we actually freeze waters before we go out and about down in Florida, and we put sealed Ziploc bags or the ones we get from IKEA. Jess gets the ones from IKEA. They're just as good. And they're the really big ones, and we'll fill them up with solid water, put it like in a pack thing in our backpacks, and we have water that is constantly melting, cooling our back while we're walking, and the water is melting literally as we're walking out in the hot sun. So you have ice cold water all day long. So that is nice. We're also going to be taking a few of the liquid IV packs that we've had. I gotta say, I'm more just for the water, but I will be using a couple of those if needed. Also, one nice thing about some of the places we visit that we've just learned from over the years is you can bring a lot of snacks and stuff into some of these parks and everywhere to save you money. Like, a lot of the food and stuff down here can get really expensive, as to where we do eat at some pretty nice restaurants. To get us through the day, we may skip lunch, you know, or we may have a big lunch and just skip dinner, but we'll have like little grain snacks, you know, stuff to keep the energy going, you know, but we can keep these in your backpack and everything throughout. So we make sure we get some of those. Wow, I cannot talk, guys. I have been stocking up on some of these things since we've been to Sam's Club and a couple other places. But yeah, we leave no stone unturned. You want to make sure we have I have this battery pack thing that Jessica got me for Christmas. You know what's funny too, because my mom got me this one also. it's a battery charger. But it's not just a battery charger. It can do several things. It's a you can fill up your tire with it. The one my mom had got me is it's just a tire tire filler. Basically, you plug it into your the cigarette lighter thing, and then you can fill up your tires with it. The one Jess got me kind of does the same thing. It's funny too because I didn't know. It's just funny that they both bought me the same gift, telling you that my mom and my wife both know me very well. But yeah, I've always talked about having one in the car. And so now we'll have that in the car. And that, it's just another little thing, like, if something happens, as long as it's not too bad, you can fill up your tire on the road and hopefully not have to change your tire. But let's face it, that's not really my luck. It'll be something where, I would have to change it. But knock on wood, none of this stuff happens. But again, it's good to be prepared. Always good to be prepared. For a lot of other things too, like we make sure we bring our battery chargers. A lot of these, you may have heard the Jackeries. The Jackeries. I'm not sure what some of the other. I know there's better brands, which Jessica actually has one that's a much better brand. But they sell the Jackery cell phone chargers, or a USB charger. It's a battery pack that you can charge off of a USB, like either through the wall or your laptop or something, and you can charge these up, and they will hold like a few different charges, so that if you're not around a power source or something, then you can charge what like if your phone dies, right? You can charge your phone off of this, which is very helpful. So some things I like to bring with me, I will be bringing some coffee. Sometimes you stay somewhere and the coffee's terrible, or I just like to have it, or they give you those like little pack things in like a hotel room or something, and we all know those are trash. Most of them, I'm sure some of them. I had a Maxwell House one that was pretty good one time, but that was years ago. So I will be bringing some coffee. Other snacks, we always make sure we bring just anything we need. But the most important things that I think of to bring with us are stuff in case something happens, right? Like if there's bad weather, or if I always try to think of these things. I always think of, don't forget the first aid kit. Don't forget this. Don't forget my little medical bag, which actually this box I showed you guys, this stays here. I actually have a medical bag that has a lot of different stuff filled in it. Different like a Neosporin, bunch of Band-Aids, bunch of different things, super glue. Just making everything happen right now. Jessica brings little fans. We make sure we pack those little handheld fans that you see her use. She uses those a lot. Our cooling towels where you basically dip it in just a little bit of cold water and you put it around your neck, and I swear it does work. I'm not a big fan of it, but she swears by it. I just don't like having things around my neck. But yeah, it's we're excited, guys. Really excited for it. It's going to be a fun trip. Just wanted to talk about a few of the things we're going to be taking along with us. It's a lot of stuff. You really got to think of everything. It's like I have to bring my computer stuff. Got to make sure I'm able to edit videos. We will be putting a video out every day. Don't know if we're going to be doing 2 videos a day. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about too, is some of the stuff we are going to be doing. Not sure, I'm going to try and visit a couple, maybe a few stores down there that I don't usually get to see up here, like Publix and maybe a couple other places. But it is going to be kind of a fun entertainment vlog. We're going to be doing a lot of just us taking you where we go. We may be doing some food reviews, restaurant reviews, different things like that. Different, going around some of the different places that we travel, just talking about some interesting facts of things, or whatever. We're just going to do a daily vlog, basically like we always do, but it's going to be more heavily Jess involved, which I know I appreciate. I love Jess in the videos, and I know you guys do too. And this is where Jess really shines. She loves doing these fun things, and we're going to be doing a lot of fun things. And, when things, happen or we got some news we need to talk about, I will be going off to the side sometimes to talk about some news that is relevant to our channel. So don't worry about that. But at the same time, we're going to be, this is going to be an entertainment, as we go along. We want to make sure that, You know, in these times, it's good to laugh. It's good to enjoy life, and that's what we're going to try. We're going to take you along with us, and we hope you guys all enjoy it. But I feel like I had a whole more big list. I probably should have wrote this stuff down because I feel like I had a lot more stuff. It's all the little things, though. It's all the little things: the pens, the notebooks, the everything I need to jot notes down. Basically, everything for the job here, right? But also remembering that all the things that we need to take. Florida gets brutal, guys. It really does. I know we have a lot of viewers that live in Florida, so you know what I'm talking about. But we also have family down there, and that is something that's nice too. If something major happened, we do have all kinds of family that we can call from every direction, and they would be there in a heartbeat. So there is that. There is that factor, which is it's always been kind of a relief for me. Is that, if something major does happen, I know they will be there for us. But not that it ever would, but it's always nice knowing that. Always nice knowing that. And yeah, it's time to pack, guys. It is time to get ready for the big show, for the big travel. I will have videos coming out all weekend. We have a couple cool things coming up here. Maybe going to fit in maybe a walk and talk. I have some things I want to talk about. I didn't really want to bring that up in this video because I just kind of wanted to talk about some of our preparations. Always go. Oh, yeah. One thing I was going to say, always eat. One of my biggest problems when I have traveled and on long drives, I'll have the tendency not to eat anything. And boy, that can really... It can really mess you up. It messes me up. I know it does Jess too. We have to remember that we have to stop and eat. Sometimes got to stop and get out of the car because I would drive like 8, 9, 10 hours sometimes without even stopping. And I think that's something that we're not going to do this time. We are going to kind of break it up as we go along. But we're also going to kind of vlog this travel like we did down to Tennessee. We had a lot of people that loved our little drive. Showing the different places and stuff and just us chatting about things. And honestly, guys, that's what we love to do. We love just hanging out with you guys, traveling, chatting along the way, talking about things as we see them, and it's like we read through your comments and it's awesome sometimes, like in some of our travels and stuff where somebody points something out and then we're able to see it and then we talk about it, that hey, or fans saw us do this. Like we had that on the live show last night. There was a guy who we saw like years ago and they just happened to catch our live show and they're excited about us coming down. We got a lot of fans in Florida. Every time me and Jess go to Florida, we always run into a lot of you guys out there and it's really cool. I run into a lot of people here, obviously in Cincinnati, because this is where we do most of the videos. I ran into a couple of you today. I won't say where I went today, but it comes out tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. In a way, it's good and bad in some ways. But you'll see. You'll see. I'm not giving any spoilers. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. And I will say, we need to make sure that we're stocking up on the sales as we see them, because I do believe we're going to see a lot of different price increases as we go into the fall. I think there's going to be a lot of things go up. I mean, I feel like it's kind of, I know I sound like a broken record, but I just want to make sure that, we are all paying attention to some of these things, because these are a lot of the different things that had happened last year, right? It was a little later in the year. Okay, but now I'm seeing things that we saw last year happen a little earlier, so we need to pay attention to these things and make sure that we're getting the best deals as we see them. But guys, we're excited for Florida. I was happy to do this video with you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your coffee or whatever beverage you are drinking. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.